What is going on, everybody? It is Dylan with DFS, and in today's video, I'm going over Week 15's DraftKings main slate. This is just a first look, just going over prices, what kind of stands out to me, and see how it goes later in the week. So, at quarterback, we got two quarterbacks over 7K. Josh Allen on the road against New England. That's a there are a few good games on this slate with some really good totals. That is one is Buffalo, New England. So Josh Allen, yeah, I mean, if you didn't play him in cash like me, you know what? You had a very hard time. Saw these teams play earlier this season. That was on a showdown. But Josh Allen only got 21.4. He goes down in price, which is very odd against New England. So he's down 200. So it's kind of odd that DraftKings is doing something like that. Matt Stafford at home against Detroit at 7K. I mean, Matt Stafford is playing some very, very, very good football this season. MVP type football this season. At 7K, I mean, against his former team. At home, in a dome, this one seems really good. So, like the back and forth action, we'll probably get in this one. But I like the passing game for the Rams. So, Matt Stafford at 7K makes a lot of sense. Jalen Hurts at home against Philly, or at home, they are Philly against Vegas. This one, I mean, after what we just saw last night, it's really hard to like someone like Jalen Hurts, but it's a positive matchup for him. It's just you don't know how much faith you could put in him, especially with some of the other options that we have this week. Drake May is 6,700, so this is kind of odd as well. Saw him in the showdown, 12.1 against New England in that one, or against Buffalo, man. But that was with 0 touchdowns for Drake May. So, yet again, I think Drake May is cheap compared to what we've seen so far this season. Joe Burrow at home against Baltimore. This is also a popular game. It's got a very high over 50 total. He's 6,600. We just saw him against Buffalo. 4 touchdowns, almost 300 yards. Obviously, we're watching the T. Higgins news because that's impactful. Unfortunately, we did see this game a couple weeks ago. Joe Burrow at 6K, 19.2. They pull out the win. Ravens don't do much. Lamar Jackson at 6,400. I mean, had a really, fantasy-wise, a really good game at 6,700. NFL-wise, it was not a really good game. Kind of saw his rushing go up, got a rushing touchdown on this one. Same thing. Just saw them play Cincinnati, and they were home. They got blown out. Lamar, 9.5 fantasy points. So, just be cautious with that game. Mahomes at home against the Chargers, 6,500. Probably don't like that one as much. Justin Herbert, 6,300 on the road against Kansas City. No. Brock Purdy, this is going to be another popular route this week, is San Fran at home against Tennessee, and they're coming off the bye week. So at 6,200, yes, there's a lot to like for Brock Purdy and that passing offense. I do really like him. Jared Goff on the road, 6,100. Yes, I mean, that game is going to be a good game, right? We always talk about Jared Goff in a dome. Guess what? It's in a dome. So you get that narrative with Jared Goff in this one. Watch Jaden Daniels' status. Unfortunately, I did play him. And yeah, he definitely torched my lineup. Is what it is. Bo Nix at home against Green Bay. This is an uglier game on the slate, to be honest. Sam, I was really looking forward to this game, Indy and Seattle, because you had two really, really good secondaries. You had some... Seattle's way too inconsistent, but Indy has been one of the more explosive, consistent scoring offenses. Seattle could put up points. We've seen them time and time again where they're putting up a good amount of points, but like Sam Darnold in the passing offense doesn't need to do much in those games. So with Daniel Jones being out, I'm probably staying away from that game, to be honest. This is one I also do like, is Jacksonville at home against the Jets. Trevor Lawrence is 5,700. I mentioned him last week as a play I really liked. 19.4 out of him at 5.4. Goes up $300, so DraftKings is finally kind of pricing him up. So he's 5,700 at home against the Jets, so I like that one there. Jackson Dart is 5,600 at home against Washington. The man is putting up some great fantasy games this season. We talked about it. Unfortunately, he had a game against New England, and it was a showdown. But I'm not torn away from him. Like the rushing upside that Jackson Dart has is really good against this Washington team that just got blown out by Minnesota and JJ McCarthy, who's underperformed. I really like Jackson Dart at 5,600. It allows you to go elsewhere in other positions. Obviously, stacking wise, it's probably not the greatest. We have some other games like Buffalo, New England, LA, Detroit, Baltimore, Cincinnati, San Fran. Like, we have some other scenarios to go. Jacoby Brissett, the man. I said, like, eventually he's going to fall off. Guess what he did not do? He did not fall off. He's still 20 plus points. It seems like you just plug him in your lineup every week and he works. This is his toughest matchup. We will see what he does against this Houston defense. Jordan Love, 5,400. Not really interested there. Caleb Williams, 5,300. I mean, it's put up some solid numbers, but not enough to really consider in cash. Maybe tournaments against Cleveland. We just saw Cam Ward and the Titans kind of just destroy that defense in all aspects of it. Here's one that kind of stands out to me off first glance. CJ Stroud is 5,200 against Arizona. We just saw what the Rams did against them. CJ Stroud in that offense had an okay game against Kansas City. Obviously, Kansas City's defense is really good. Arizona, I wouldn't put them there. But you look at the last few games of Stroud, and I want you to look at the defenses. He's played a Kansas City defense, which is, I'd say, a really good defense. An Indy defense, who I'd say is a really good defense. A Denver defense, which is an elite defense. They faced San Fran. He has a good game. And then played Seattle. On the road against Seattle. Like, he's faced some tough defenses. This is probably the easiest defense he's faced since week 8 against San Fran. So I am really interested off first glance of CJ Stroud for the price point. Bryce Young, no. Marcus Mariota, if he's playing against the Giants at 5K, I think he's going to be playable. Obviously, the game against Minnesota was ugly for both teams, but when you look at some of the stat lines we saw for Marcus Mariota, to be 5K this week against the Giants, I think is a very favorable matchup. Obviously, watching the Tyrod Taylor, the Justin Fields situation for New York. Shedeur Sanders, priced to 4,700, has an absolute amazing game. 360 yards, 4 total touchdowns out of Shedeur. It's a really good game for him. Like Cam Ward's kind of interesting this week too. I mean, he didn't put up the greatest, like 12.1, and they scored 31 points. It's just the run game was really good. But in a game where San Fran should score quite a bit, maybe we see Cam Ward on the backside of that kind of put up some points. So yeah, we'll see what that looks like. Brady Cook might be 4,300 against Jacksonville. See what that looks like as well. And then I wanted, maybe they didn't announce anything, but like, I could see a scenario where Aiden O'Connell is the starting quarterback for Vegas this week against Philly. We'll see what that looks like with the whole Geno Smith situation. Oh, man, we get this slate is stacked. We get Christian McCaffrey, 9K at home. I mean, it's pretty hard not to want to play Christian McCaffrey against Tennessee this week. So at 9K, yeah. Jahmyr Gibbs, 8,800. Probably a tougher matchup for him, but we've seen Jahmyr Gibbs absolutely dominate in the receiving games to make a bad rushing game not seem as bad. So, could always get used there. Jonathan Taylor's probably going to get quite a bit of volume this week, seeing that the quarterback situation is the way it is. James Cook in an uglier game. Derrick Henry, I mean, 17.4 at 73 definitely didn't pay off, but he's the same price now against them again. So, interested in that. We have seen Cincinnati's run defense not be that bad. I mean, James Cook and Derrick Henry didn't put up the greatest games against them. Saquon Barkley, 7,100 at home against Vegas. This one seems really interesting to me. We just saw what they did last night against the Chargers. Like Saquon, not Jalen Hurts, Saquon. 6.1 yards per carry, got a touchdown. Nothing in the receiving game. So at 7,100. I do really like the price, and it's also the cheapest we've gotten Saquon. Right, this is a showdown estimate, so this is the cheapest we've gotten Saquon at 7,100. So really interested in that. Jacobs, no. Kyron, no. Chase Brown is going to be interesting again. He's just put up some solid fantasy points. DraftKings is kind of keeping him there at the same price, 6,700. 18.3 against Baltimore when they played 2 weeks ago. So, yet again, I do like Chase Brown. Rico Dowdle's interesting at 6,600. Although we've seen Chuba Hubbard kind of get included a little more than we'd like to lately. Yeah, Travis Etienne, 6,500. I mean, he's put up some really good numbers lately. He is getting priced up quite a bit. He's 6,500 against the Jets. So, it's all going to be salary based, but I do like him. Quick John Judkins, watching the offensive line for Cleveland. They were kind of banged up in that game, which is why he probably averaged 1.9 yards per carry. But it is the Bears, so there is that opportunity. Travion Henderson at 6,100 is interesting, but with Stevenson going to be used again, I don't really know. RJ Harvey, probably not against Green Bay. Hampton, same thing against the Chiefs, probably not. Genty is interesting. I just don't know if I would trust Genty in cash. I think he'll probably end up being a pretty good tournament play. I just don't know if I would love it in cash. For the player that Genty is, sure, but I mean, it is tough. Swift, no. Vidal, obviously not. Woody Marks at 5,600. This definitely could be one to watch for with the Nick Chubb situation. So, granted, I mean, like, these numbers are not great. You're just hoping he gets some receiving work and a touchdown. But at 5,600, he definitely stands out this week. Ken Walker, 5,600, definitely could stand out to me. Kind of saw him just have a absolute stinker against Atlanta, which is crazy because they scored 37 points, but 10 for 29, no touchdowns. Like, he's a very touchdown-dependent guy to really pay off at his price points. So, yeah, we're going to watch the Tyrone Tracy news at 5,700 or 5,500 because if he is out, we get Devin Singletary at 5K against Washington. So, watch the Tyrone Tracy news this week. Devin Neal at 5,300. I mentioned him the last 2 weeks. Had a good game. 15.4 at 5,100 was definitely one that helped out your lineup if you played him. He only goes up 200 facing Carolina again this week. So very interested, but obviously Alvin Kamara has to be out. So we're watching that news as well. Other than that, Chris Rodriguez at 4,900, just scrolling down, I mean, is kind of interesting. We just don't know what the running back room is going to look like or how Washington is going to play. So tune into it. We'll see what that looks like. Wide receivers. No wide receiver at 9K. Puka stays at 8,700 this week against Detroit. JSN 8,600 against Indy. Jamar Chase 8,100 against Baltimore. So, I mean, we're getting the studs. Amon-Ra, Rashee Rice, Devontae Adams, AJ Brown, Nico Collins, like Michael Wilson. What are you doing there? But no, some really great matchups here. So it's going to be fun to see where rosters are. It is really going to be fun to see what the roster percentage ends up looking like at the end of the week. But yeah, kind of Rashee Rice. I mean, I kind of like Rice this week against the Chargers. It's going to be a tougher matchup. Kansas City's got to win. They have to win. This is if you lose, you're done game. So, Devontae Adams, 7,200. Yep. AJ Brown, 6,800. I mean, he's been playing pretty good lately. 28, 38, 19 last night. 100 yards plus in all three of those games as well. Nico Collins against Arizona, definitely a like there. Watching the status for T. Higgins, obviously. Landon McConkey, kind of like him on the other side for that Kansas City Chargers game. Zay Flowers goes up a couple hundred. Has his best game of the season, which, I mean, 8 for 124. You would have thought with how the passing game's been for Baltimore as far as the weapons and their stats, Zay Flowers would have a more consistently high numbers this season, and he just doesn't. Olave 6,200 at home against Carolina makes a lot of sense like that. J-Mo 6,100 on the road against the Rams, probably not. Diggs against Buffalo, I mean, yeah. 10 for 146. against them last time. See what he does this time. But he is 6K. Ted McMillan, 6K against New Orleans. Probably do like that. Wandell is 5,900. Pretty likable piece in this game, to be honest. 5,900. He is priced up pretty damn good, though, 5,900. Roma Dunze, if he plays 58. Probably not interested in that Chicago-Cleveland game this week, to be honest. Devontae Smith, 58. Brian Thomas Jr., 57. So, like in that range as well. Jacoby Myers. Yeah, I like Jacoby. I mentioned Jacoby during the week. 10 targets for him. 4 for 39 and a touchdown. So, definitely being targeted quite a bit by Trevor Lawrence this season. Seems like the connection is there. Probably staying away from the Green Bay-Denver game as well, to be honest. Terry McLaurin, 5,400. I mean, he just needs the football thrown in his direction. So, he is priced up, surprisingly. It's got to be a matchup thing. Khalil Shakir, 5,300 against New England. I'm fine with it. I don't love it, but I'm fine with it. Debo, 5,300. So, stacking Washington is pretty damn cheap this week. So, we'll see what that looks like. See if people want to attack that, the Giant stack with a Washington run back or a Washington stack with a Giant run back. So it's probably going to be a popular one based off of the salaries I'm seeing right now. Juwan Jennings is 5,200 at home against Tennessee. Like that. Ricky Pearsall is also an option at 5,100. More booty. I mean, off first look, I'm not really liking a whole lot here. Shaheed maybe at 4,600. Had the special teams play to really kind of boast him, but 4 for 67, so 10.7 off the receiving game alone, and then gets a touchdown. So it's kind of interesting. Jerry Jeudy at 4,400 might be something to look at. Don't know how much we look at it, but might be worth looking at. Darius Slayton's 4,400, so kind of cheap stacking price there. Mitchell, Mechie, 4,300, so they both go down in this one. DK is 4,300, kind of interested in him this week. Without injuries, nothing kind of stands out to me without some injuries or anything like that going on down cheap. So, tight ends. Trey McBride goes down. He's 7,400 against Houston. Tough matchup. Brock Bowers, 5,900 against Philly. Also a tough matchup. George Kittle against Tennessee. Love it. 5,400. Love it. Travis Kelce, 49 against Chargers. Don't. Tyler Warren. I mean, I got burnt by Tyler Warren too. I played him last week. 2 for 15 against Jacksonville. That one stung. He's in a positive matchup this week though. Dalton Kincaid, 4,500 stands out. Really like him. Henry, Gadsden, I mean, ugly. Bretton Strange, you mentioned him, and yeah, 5.7 out of Bretton Strange, so that was definitely disappointing against Indy, where they scored 36 points, and Bretton Strange got 5.7, so strangely enough, he goes up in price. Dalton Schultz, 4,100, definitely a positive matchup for him there. Fannin is interesting this week at 4K, especially being cheaper than Jeudy. Mark Andrews in a very positive spot at 3,900, so probably interested to see where he comes in at. 8.7 when they just played a couple weeks ago. 1.9, one reception for 9 yards after he gets paid. Definitely threw me off. Juwan Johnson, 3,700. Colston Loveland, 30. Not really interested in Loveland. Juwan Johnson, Theo Johnson at 3,500 against Washington. Isaiah Likely, 3,400, where we just saw him 13.5 in that game against Cincinnati, which he should have had a touchdown too at that, so he should have probably gotten around 20 points in that game. Chinko Conquo makes sense at 33. AJ Bardner makes sense. Mason Taylor makes sense. Dawson Knox still, Dawson Knox 6 for 93 out of Dawson Knox into 2-point conversion. So kind of crazy out of him. Gunnar Helm, 2,800. I mentioned him, even with Chig being there, Gunnar Helm's put up some solid numbers. He's down to 2,800 there. This is one to watch for. Giants have played tight ends pretty good, but I would imagine Ben Sinnott is kind of that next guy up, and he's 2,700. So really interested to see that one. Other than that, nothing else stands out without an injury going down. Defenses, I think Seattle makes a lot of sense at 3,700 against Indy. Jaguars make a lot of sense with the quarterback situation for the Jets. 3,800 Philly against probably a backup for Vegas. Texans kind of interesting. 3,600. Bears definitely interesting against Cleveland. Let's go down cheap. So we get Vegas against Philly, 2K. Maybe not. Jets against Jacksonville. Indy against Seattle. Indy against Seattle, right? We just saw Jacksonville kind of torch that defense. I'll watch Sauce Gardner. Sauce Gardner's back. I'm okay paying 2,200 for the Colts defense against Seattle. Like, I don't think Sam Darnold is that good enough. I think people are just... I don't know what people are thinking of. Colts defense is 2,200 this week. If Sauce Gardner is back against Sam Darnold, that defense, I'm fine with that. I'm definitely fine with, like, putting that in my lineup and getting that as a result. So, yeah, that is it for this video. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next one.